All right, I think we are live, and that we are. So, good evening. This is Andre down here in Jacksonville, Florida, of Overcoming the Odds, and we are going to have a pretty interesting topic as far as how to overcome two different types of obstacles that you will face, not only in your business but also in life. And we're going to pretty much go real deep into them, and you probably have and more than likely not just have you have and you will overcome these because that's just it's part of the process of any journey that you're part of. Whether it be again, if you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe you want to move up a corporate ladder or whatever it is, you're gonna face obstacles. So that's just something that I just wanted to have you keep in mind. And without any further ado, we're going to take it out to my other partner out there in the UK real quick.
Hey everyone, Neil Henson here from the UK. Currently 11 p.m. my time, but always happy to be here. My favourite time of the week. But like Andres just mentioned, we're going to go through some some obstacle training because if you've got any kind of aspirations towards doing anything online, you're going to find obstacles along the way, whether these are internal obstacles or whether these are friends, family. There could be a whole variety of different things. We won't go into too many of them, but you are going to encounter obstacles, and if you don't know how to overcome these obstacles or what to do when these obstacles show up, then you're in for trouble, because these obstacles are going to show up. It doesn't matter what business you're in, it doesn't matter what you do. I kid you not, you will come into them one way or another. Not every single one of them, you may not encounter every single one of them, but you will encounter at least some of them. And if you don't know how to deal with them, this is where you're going to come into trouble. And I know when I first started encountering these, I really, really did struggle, and it took me a while to adjust. And like I said, if we could just kind of, even if it should prepare you for what's to come, or maybe you're currently going through it and you're just not sure how to deal with it, there could be a whole different ways, but this is what we're going to go through, and hopefully you can get some kind of perspective from this about how to deal with it, or you at least know what's coming. Because like I say, if you've got any kind of aspirations, certainly in the network marketing industry, as soon as you mention that to anybody, it's either they like it or they don't. You won't find no middle ground, really. It's one of them where they don't like it or they do like it. And if they don't like it, friends, family, I know, they'll tell you to just stay away from it. So we're going to go through all of this as we go through. So stay tuned, and like I say, just get your pen and paper ready, because hopefully this can really help you develop as a marketer going forward.
It's kind of interesting too, Neil, that you brought up as far as really rejection. That's another obstacle that you go through in life as well. But the two main ones we're going to get into, and they are just that. The main ones are internal obstacles and external obstacles. It's almost it is self-explanatory, but just to break it down a little bit more so. And we got this from a very successful hypnotherapist who's mentioned this, as far as internal obstacles are mainly within here, within the mind, and also within here, within the heart. They can be, going down a list: emotions, fear. I remember writing them down: sadness, anger, incongruence. So obviously, not aligned with something. Maybe in relationships, again, maybe in business, or maybe just whatever work tasks that you're doing, maybe the partners you might be aligned with too, associated with, or whoever might be incongruous to something. Those are internal obstacles. External obstacles are really ones that you really have no control over. Resources, finances. Where Neil mentioned, as far as people also, when you're in the home-based business profession, or whether it be network marketing, online marketing, you will come across, as far as the external obstacles, as far as people might not having the money, the finances. Some people legitimately do not have the money, and that's understandable. Also, too, there are also people, places, and things. Can't control them sometimes. You can control sometimes where you're going, or maybe who you associate with, but the most part, you really can't control their own, those things. For the most part, you really just can't. So that's something that, again, it just happens. Now the cool thing is too, and this is the cool thing, I'm glad that Neil, you mentioned, as far as network marketing in general. This is the reason why I always like to say about the whole profession that it's really personal development covered in an opportunity, disguised as an opportunity, because you're really working on yourself. They tell us a lot to just listen to audio daily of successful people, reading books of successful people too daily, and just really just continue just to work on yourself. That's the internal game. Now, the cool thing about mentioning those two obstacles that we just shared is, which one do you think is the most crucial one between internal and external? I know Neil and I talked about this. So what again?
Sorry, this should be a bit of an overlap. For me, the biggest obstacles you face are the internal obstacles, because you've already got them there in the first place, whether you realize it or not. Because when you talk to someone about, well, it could be anything, to be honest. If you try and talk to someone about, I don't know, maybe some accomplishments and things like that, and you can always tell by the way people react. There are some people who don't like praise, some people who play down accomplishments and things like that. And these are the kind of people that for me, they need to learn to adapt. Because if you're the kind of person who, when someone tells you about how good you are and stuff, and you're just like, nah, I'm not that good and things like that, it's like you need to, if you're a marketer, you need to learn how to sell yourself. And if you're the kind of person who's going to literally say, nah, it's not that good, not making a big deal about it, things like that, it's kind of the wrong way. I mean, all right, you don't want to be perceived as arrogant, but you still got to show yourself as, I know what I'm doing, and I can teach you how to do this kind of thing, because that's what people want to see. That's what people want to hear. Nobody's going to want to come up to you and nobody's going to come up to you and say, can you show me how to do this? They don't know how to do that. You need to tell them you know how to do that, and you need to show them you know how to do that. So for me, and this is something that I struggle with, because I still have problems with it now, and it takes a lot of adjusting. But when I find myself doing it, I'll stop myself, and then I just snap myself out of it, and then I find a way of getting myself back into character how I should be. Because the moment you stop showboating your skill, well, I won't say showboating, because again that can be perceived as arrogant, but you get what I'm trying to say is, when you stop trying to show yourself as the person that can help them, i.e., showing them what you're talking about, and you just play it off as, all right, it's no big deal. Nobody wants to hear that. People want to see that you know what you're talking about. People want to see that you're good at what you're doing, and that's where you need to kind of not show off, but you need to kind of show people you know what you're talking about. So if you're the kind of person who's going to say, nah, don't worry about it, it's not that big a deal, or thing like that, nobody's going to pay attention to that. They want to be shown how to do things. They want to know that you know what you're doing. So you need to be saying, yes, I do know what I'm doing. I'm good at doing this. And you need to get comfortable with saying that. And it's just little things like that. These are the kind of internal things that you need to get used to doing. And like I said, there's a fine line between showing what you're good at doing and showing what you can do, and being arrogant with it. It's a fine line, but you'll get, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become, and you'll soon gauge the kind of response that you're getting from your audience. Obviously, if you're not getting a response from one thing, it's not working, so you try something else. If you get some kind of response, all right, so I know that works, I'm going to try doing a little bit more of that, and you kind of gauge your way as time goes on. So don't think that tried it once, it doesn't work, because nobody's perfect when it first starts off. It takes time for this kind of thing to build up, and that's the other thing as well. Because another thing about an internal thing is we kind of have this mindset of, like, when you're shown something, it's like you try it once and then you either don't like it, you don't get comfortable with it, or you don't get the kind of results that you're kind of expecting. And it's like, well, so you try it and then you just throw it out and just say, no, it doesn't work, or I'm no good at it. And there you go. You've automatically gone back to the point of just saying, I'm no good at this. And it's these kind of internal things that you need to deal with, because it's these kind of things that are holding you back. Notice that when you're in a negative mindset of, I can't do this, and I don't know what I'm doing, I'm new, and all that kind of stuff, the actions that you take are going to be a lot different to someone that's really confident, feels good about what they're doing, knows exactly what they're doing. You know, you're going to have two different kind of approaches, and the outcomes are going to be entirely different. So when you have these internal issues, well, I won't say issues, these internal objections and internal conflictions that you have, you need to learn how to deal with them, because these are things that are going to dictate and control your behavior and how you approach things and how you deal with things, and ultimately what you do online. So the moment you start feeling like the world's getting you down, or you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, you need to take a step back. This is something that it took me a long while for me to understand. You need to take a step back, refocus, and then go at it again. Don't try and push yourself through it, because trust me, that is not something that's going to work. You're not going to be working in the right direction if you feel overwhelmed, if you get anxiety going off in your head. It doesn't work. Trust me, it doesn't work, and you're working against yourself rather than, you feel like you're working, so you feel like you're making progress, but trust me, you're working against what you're actually trying to do. So if you ever find that you get yourself overwhelmed or anything like that, you need to take a step back and just literally refocus, and just, if you want, this is something that I try and do, is I actually have a daily checklist. I have a daily checklist of what I need to do. I also know exactly what I'm trying to achieve. So whenever I feel myself getting a little bit overwhelmed because of how much I need to do, or how much I still need to do, maybe I'm a bit behind because I've had to do other things, you've still got a daily checklist that you need to do. But what I find is, instead of looking at it as overall, break it down into little bits, so little bite-sized chunks, and saying, right, so I'm just going to focus on this. Or you could try just doing it in bite-sized chunks, or you could go back to the drawing board and realign yourself to why you're doing this in the first place. And once you take the focus off the fact that you're overwhelmed, that will often enough be enough to help you rediscover and get yourself back into the character and start moving forward. So I apologize for going off on a bit of a tangent there, but I felt it was quite at the right time to bring that in. But yeah,
no, it's not fine. It's no problem about that, man, because it might be some tangents so going on about that. And it's just to add on. Oh, you want to keep on going? My bad, man. You want to keep on going?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so basically, it's internal. Internal obstacles are going to come in many different forms, and the moment you limit yourself when it comes to what you feel you're good at, or what you think you can do, that automatically is going to stop you from doing anything really, because you've automatically limited yourself. You need to get out of that mindset. People, we got brought up with this mentality of, if you're showing people what you can do, you're classed as showing off. And unfortunately, when it comes to being online, how many people do you know online? When you go on Facebook, for example, I mean, yeah, all right, we reach out to our friends and reach out to our family and stuff like that. We all want to connect with those people, of course. But how many of those people are actually interested in what you're doing? And I'm going to say none, because none of my friends and none of my family even knew about what I was doing. But as soon as I told them what I was doing, they're like, what's that? They either didn't know, or they did know and they wasn't interested. So the fact is, anybody that you're going to talk to is going to be completely brand new. They're not going to know you for nothing. And look at Andre and me. Andre's in Florida. He's in a completely different continent. He's in completely different countries, opposite side of the world. 5 hours. We're in 5 different time zones away. So it's one of those where the people that you're talking to are most likely not even going to be in the same country as you. So they're not going to know you. But if they're not going to know you, how are you going to expect them to know what you're good at, how you can help them, what you can show them, how to do stuff? If you're not showcasing your skills, what you can do, they're not going to know you, and they're not going to pay attention to you, because they've got their own agenda. We're all online for our own agenda. If you go on Facebook, you probably say just talk to friends and family, or maybe check out whatever's going off. But then you could be online because you've actually got a genuine problem. You've got a genuine need, something that you want. And if you've got somebody who's saying, well, yeah, I think I can show you, you know, I'm not too bad at that, actually. Are you going to listen to that, or are you going to listen to someone saying, yeah, I can do that. I've been doing it for this long, and, you know, I've been showing this many people how to do it, and these are the kind of results I've had. You know, this is somebody who's not, they're not showing off. They're just showing you what they've done and how they can help you. So we got brought up with this mentality of, if you're showing off if you're showing people what you can do, and you know, things like that. So it's not showing off if you can back it up. That's something that I learned quite recently, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, you know what, I like that, because it's so true. And that is, you know, if you can back it up with what you're saying. So if you're generating 15 leads a day online, and you say, I can show you how to do that, just because you're showing people, or you're shouting it from the rafters, telling people you know how to do it, that doesn't mean say you're showing off. You're not showing off if you can back it up. If you can tell people how to do it, and you can show people you know how to do it, it's not bad. You're not showing off. You're just showing them how to do it. You're teaching other people online. And, you know, that's the kind of, once I heard that, I just like, that just clarified everything for me. And it just kind of put a completely different perspective to it. So first things first, you know, get out of the mentality of what we've brought up with, of, you know, you're showing off and all that, you know, that old style thinking that we got brought up with, because it doesn't apply online. Like I say, if you can back it up with what you're saying, if you can back up what you're saying with exactly what it is that you're saying, then it's not showing off. You're simply showing the results that you've got, so you can show people that you can help them too.
Well, also too, to add on top of that, as far as the online world, and I know this from as well too, when I was in the offline network marketing, is social proof, and we didn't really have too many. Well, I don't want to say that as far as offline, because obviously you do have the social proof right there in front of you, whether it be health and fitness, health and wellness, you know, skincare, whatever it is that you might be promoting, because obviously you see it right there, the results right there, the testimonials. Online, the social proof, and this is the reason why we have, perfect example, we have an income disclaimer below this right now being played, because you know, just to let people know that, you know, we are being legitimate, and it's unfortunate that we always talk about income disclaimers, because people that get in the business will think that it's pretty much a free lottery ticket, which it's not. You really do have to work on yourself, and at the same time, it is a business. Now, at the same time, like as Neil just mentioned too, you do have to just overcome this, a lot of this stuff internally, because I remember we asked the question as far as what's the most crucial one between internal obstacles and external. Yes, internal is hands down the most important. Externals really have no control with. And still just mentioned, you have no control over what people's mentality as far as what you might be doing, whatever it could be. You know, it could be like relationships, it could be business, it could be whatever. You have no control over that. But you can work on yourself as far as overcoming just those little silent voices you just mentioned too, that you might tell yourself, basically limiting beliefs that you can't get over something, you know, which is, again, you know, just that limiting belief. I know personally in sports, I've been playing semi-pro football, American football, for those watching in other parts outside the U.S. For the last few years, and there's always been this I wish that phrase, I think this little word as far as like, oh, you get slowed down as you get to the older age or whatever, which really is not true. But you know, that's again something that some people would just think, oh, you hear it, that's true or whatever. Now you really do get wiser as you get older, as you continue to play any type of sport. Perfect example is what's going on right now. This time is in Wimbledon. You see some of the top athletes right now are in their 30s, and guess what? They're still like the top 5 in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Neil and I talk about all the time. Roger Federer, love that guy, but why is this man still in the top 5 in the world, almost year in and year out? And this man's in his early 30s now, so he didn't let the internal obstacles hold him back. When some people, the external ones, were probably real loud talking about, oh man, he's slowing down, getting older. Okay, but you're number 3 in the world. All right, let's take it to the other side now. Let's take it to the female side. The Williams sisters are still making noise in the top 10, both of them. Obviously, Serena being number 1, but you're like, okay, they're in their 30s and whatnot. they've overcome those internal obstacles. You're gonna face them every time, and guess what? They're still winning. So I mean, come on now. Once you continue just working yourself, day in, day out, it pretty much just overshadows that. Okay, now you might be asking, okay, I understand. Listen to audios, read books. What else? How about associate the people that are going where you're going? Perfect example, Neil just mentioned as well as far as we're in different time zones. When we met well over a year ago was at an event. You can meet people at events, social clubs, seminars, conference, whatever, and just hang around people. It's like, you know what, we want to go somewhere. We want to do this. We want to align with each other. I know when Neil and I met, and I kid you not, when I was talking with Neil, it was like probably less than 2 minutes. The only thing that was in the back of both of my minds is, let's do something live. That's what we want to do as far as, the community that we're a part of. We want to do something live weekly to just help us, get over that internal obstacle because, and he will say quickly too, I was the same way too, as far as doing something like this. Shooting videos was no problem. It's just that I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing. Talking about, doing business online, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing in the world. I'm like, man, always photo. I'm like, man, that is the most ridiculous thing. I'm like, man, forget doing shooting videos. I knew I could do it. I just thought, why? Now we have other people on the panel that, two of them are not here right now, with Patricia too. She's the oldest one right now of the panel, but she would be the first one to tell you as far as her external obstacles would be she's in the baby boomer club. As far as people love seeing her what she's doing, but they're like, man, I'd love to do that, but now they got to overcome their own internal obstacles. We have somebody else too that who's the youngest one on the panel, Ian. He was the same way as far as just really introvert, but not really want to really say much of anything as far as so this was a stretch too, getting on here and just just to continue just to just go out and just make mistakes. That's the only way you're gonna learn. Just go out and just make a mess of things, and just keep on learning. You're overcoming those internal obstacles. So really my point is repetition. That can help you out. Neil, you mentioned you had like a daily task. I like to follow Napoleon Hill mentioned Think and Grow Rich, when his major definite purpose and his self-confidence formula, something I've been repeating to myself daily for well over 2 years. It got to the point I literally have it memorized right now. But that's something that's always going to keep me on track. Just when I'm like, man, it's like, man, what's going on? It's like, am I doing this right? My business, or what's going on? Whatever. Just overcomes all little temporary setbacks. Another good example, almost a year ago, I found out I had a blocked artery. So guess what? Unfortunately, had a minor heart attack during the time too. My mindset was so over the heart attack part, I didn't even think anything of it. A lot of people are thinking, oh man, what happened to this? Oh man, you're right. You're gonna keep on going or whatnot. This is what happens too. I gotta share this because I never really showed this, and Neil hasn't even seen this too. Once you don't really worry about those type of external obstacles, the internal obstacles can be rewarding when you really work on yourself, and I mean rewarding when you overcome them. Because I was not really thinking about getting this, being selected as the all-star for my semi-pro team. Oh, by the way, after suffering what I went through almost a year ago, came back, played a season, still selected an all-star. Now I do that to brag or anything? No, because I worked on the internal game so much, I didn't even. That wasn't even like a thing to me. I wasn't even thinking about it. Other people were worried about it. I had some people that kind of scared death. But I'm like, okay, I'm here now, but I got something to accomplish. That was just my mentality. The funny thing is too, when I was in the ER, if I was in the hospital at the time, I was in the middle of a challenge. So I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to shoot this video real quick? I had a 21-day video challenge I just started. So thank goodness I had my cell phone with me. I just started shooting videos like crazy because again, I didn't let the internal obstacles or external obstacles, just really overcome me. I'm just kind of like, I didn't really see anything of it. I just went right over it. So that's just something just to keep in mind. Repetition is a good way. Associations are just a good way too, to hang around people that are going to uplift you. They're going to, pretty much they're all aligned. Because we mentioned earlier, as far as, the internal obstacles is incongruent sometimes. So you might not be aligned with not just people only, but it might be just certain things. Like we just mentioned, the emotions, the fear, the anger, sadness, it happens. That happens in life, But when you hang around people too, they're all going to sort of the same place. where you have like a daily task that you know, like, okay, let me go ahead and do this. Don't make it. It doesn't have to be real big, but you know what your end goal is. As Napoleon Hill mentioned, Think and Grow Rich. You know what the end goal is. Your definite chief aim, your definite major purpose. You don't let anything stop you. You know, I remember never forget when I was in college. I had my head coach always say, you know what, this is something that he got from the great Vince Lombardi, who, oh, by the way, he won the first 2 Super Bowls in the NFL. And he always shared this too with us. And talking about my head coach, talking about what Vince Lombardi said: the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. So that's why you would see like Neil and I and other people on our panel just continue to be on here, because we put a lot of work behind this, you know. So it's like, why stop now? You know, we've got to keep on going. And that's so true. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And so I not only use that not only on the football field, I've also used that obviously in business and in life too. So, you know, you just continue to work on yourself, because again, nobody's perfect. You can read any type of success, whether it be entrepreneurs, whether it be multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. They've all had some type of obstacles. They all have some type of internal obstacles that they overcome. And guess what? They still keep on charging forward. So that's just something just to keep in mind too, as far as that it happens. Don't worry about it, you know, and don't worry about too, like, again, going back to what we mentioned as far as the online world, you know, you're talking about, man, why are these people showing as far as the success? Social proof, you know, because it might be something just to let you know to that little internal obstacle that you're thinking, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. That's the whole purpose of that, why we do this. And as I mentioned earlier too, why we have the income disclaimer below, because we're not going to sit here and guarantee you any type of results of anything, but we're always going to let you know that it is possible. So that's, again, something to just keep in mind too, as far as the obstacles. Hey, it's a part of life. It's a part of the process. So that's something I had to get on my chest too, as far as a little tangent as well.
Well, there is something that you just kind of triggered a thought, really, and it was, you know, when you're talking about millionaires, whether you're talking about billionaires, it doesn't really matter. You know, at the end of the day, each one of these are successful for a reason, and that is because they will do whatever they need to do in order to succeed. And this is usually one of the biggest things. This is, again, comes back to the internal objections. So let's say, for example, this daily checklist that I've got, one of them involves shooting videos. Now, that is one of the biggest objections that people have when it comes to shooting, when it comes to building a business online. If I told you you needed to shoot videos as part of the daily action plan, or this is what you need to do if you want to build your business, I'm going to say at least 90% of the people are going to say not doing it. Well, maybe not doing it, but like, I don't want to do it. And that's usually the problem, because, you know, it's I don't want to do it. You don't feel comfortable doing it. And one of the phrases that we were brought up through the years of doing this, and that is, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable until it gets comfortable. And I'll say that one more time, because it's a bit of a so it's a bit to get your head around. That is, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable until it gets comfortable. And that means basically doing it again and again and again until it feels normal. Now, think about this, because this is perhaps one way to think about it, and hopefully it kind of just re-emphasizes the point. Because if you had a job, and let's say part of that job you was asked to get on video. Now, same thing, you don't want to do it, but are you going to do it? And I'm going to say yes, and that's because it's your job, and you're being told part of your job is get on that video. Now, the difference between the two is you feel like you don't have a choice in one of them because that's your job. But the other one, you feel like you can say yes, you can say no, because you do have a choice. And if you decide not to do it, well, there's not really going to be any repercussions, and not really going to be any problems as such, because you've got no one there to tell you you need to do it. But it's still the same thing. You know, you've got a job here that's telling you you need to do it. You've got a business over here that is telling you you need to do it. Over here, you do it because you've got no other choice. It's your job. Over here, you do have a choice. And this is often what separates the successful from the non-successful, because the successful are prepared to do whatever it takes. And if that means they have to do that, they're going to do it, and they're going to continue to do it. And then you wonder why these people get really good on camera and get good on videos and get good on whatever it is that they're doing. It's because they put in everything that they need to do, and they learn how to do it, so they get better at it. Because this is the thing as well. What if, let's say, a month or two down the road, you still don't feel comfortable doing videos, but suddenly you start realizing that these videos are not only generating you leads, but they're also generating you sales. Now, once you put that little turn, that little twist inside that light switch goes off in your head, and you start associating, not these videos are, I don't like doing them or anything like that. You suddenly switch and just think, well, these videos are actually making me money. These videos are building my business. And you suddenly see that happening. Are you suddenly going to start, are you still going to have the same kind of association with it? And I'm going to say no, because now you realize that you're getting paid to do these videos. So all that's changed is your association with these videos. But the difference between that happening and where you are right now is you just need to take them actions. You know, there is one person. He's not in this in the company that we're in, but he is in the business. He is in the network marketing industry. I'll say his name. His name is Mark Harbert, and he's built a 6- and 7-figure business just by shooting videos. Now, the thing that people seem to not want to, well, some people don't understand about videos is the videos don't need to be great. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be these $1 million videos that you see online. Because the thing you have to understand is when you're targeting specific people, the videos don't have to be great, because you're not trying to impress people with how great your video is. You're trying to get the point across. So when you see these videos, and these videos are just normal videos, you realize that these are the ones that are going to resonate more with your audience, rather than creating $1 million video, you know. And these are going to speak to your audience a lot more. Now, this is where this guy started with. His name's Mark Harbert. If you want to check out him online, you can do. He's got plenty of videos on YouTube, but he started from that, and he's now gone on to do thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, income results are going to vary, so we're not going to guarantee you any results when it comes to that, but it's just showing you what is possible when you decide to work. Now, coming back to the whole point I was making with work is the thing, when you've got a job, there are plenty of things that inside that job you don't want to do, but yet you still do it anyway, because let's face it, that's your job. And if you don't do it, they're going to pay someone else who is. But you're not prepared to do the very same in your business that can pay you a lot better than your current job. So, but this is the thing, and this is what we're coming back to with the internal objections, because it's one of those where you need to have a repetition, you need to have a routine, there needs to be a daily method of operation. And this will be the same whether you're a millionaire, whether you're a billionaire, it doesn't really matter. Any successful businessman, any successful person will have a daily routine. We just talked, Andre just mentioned about Roger Federer. You know, if you talk about Roger Federer in tennis, whether you talk about Lionel Messi in football or soccer, whichever one you know it as, if you follow that kind of thing, Michael Jordan in basketball, it doesn't really matter. Every single one of these people are successful because they have a daily method of operation. You know, and the point that I was actually going to make was, and it was actually a gambling phrase, and they always say that the first lesson in gambling is leaving emotion at the door. And that, to me, is very, very similar to this industry, because if you don't have a daily method of operation and you just do things based on how you're feeling, that's not going to yield you any kind of results. Because, again, if you don't feel in a good mood, you're not going to feel like working. If you feel a bit down, you're not going to feel like working. If you feel great, usually you want to go out with your mates. So, you know, either which way, whichever mood you're in, you're not really going to feel like working. Whereas if you take the emotion out of it and just think, this is what I'm going to do, no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter how much time I have on my hands, no matter whether I'm ill, whether I'm not, doesn't matter. This is what I'm going to do every single day. Rain or shine, I'm going to do this every single day. Now, you do that every single day, regardless of how you're feeling, how much time you have, you're going to have a daily method of operation, and you're going to start building some kind of consistency. And that is the number one key to any kind of success. You know, if you talk, again, coming back to Roger Federer and Michael Jordan, you know, any kind of successful person, you see their daily method of operation, they will get up and you see it in the way they do it. I mean, if you had, I think Tony Robbins, I was actually talking about it when he was holding one of his seminars, and that is, you can tell people's daily method of operation based on how they are. You know, if you saw a big strapping guy walking down the street, you can tell that his daily method of operation is going to be a lot different to someone who walks down the street who's perhaps a little bit overweight, we'll say. You know, you can tell the different kind of people. You know, if you set yourself a task of, I don't know, getting up and running every single day, you know, and then suddenly, let's say on the second day, you're aching a little bit and you see it's raining outside and it's early morning, you don't have to get up, but you need to get up if you want to do your running. You know, again, are you going to get up or are you not? If you leave emotion out the door and just forget about how you're feeling, forget about the time of day it is and forget about how it is outside, and you just think, this is what I need to do, you'll get up and you'll do it. And then you do that often enough, you'll condition yourself to forget about however you're feeling. You'll forget about what time of morning, what type of day it is. You'll forget about what the weather's like outside. You'll just do it because that is what you're programmed to do. You'll condition yourself to say, that's what I need to do, and I'm going to do it regardless of how I'm feeling, regardless of what time of day it is, regardless of what else I've got going off in my life. You will do it. Whereas if you start thinking about, you could stop in bed, you know, it's still too early, so I've still got enough time, you know, all that kind of stuff, you're going to roll over, go back to sleep, and then your daily, your sudden goal of doing whatever it is you're doing, it's not going to work, you know. And it's these kind of things that separate the winners from the losers, because this once you say, I'm going to do this, this means I'm going to do this no matter how I'm feeling, no matter how much time I've got going off in my life, no matter what, it doesn't matter. You set yourself a task, you're going to do that task. Just put yourself in the position, you've got to condition yourself as if it's like, if I don't do this, I'm going to get fired. If I don't do this, I'm going to lose whatever. You've got to put that kind of distinction in your mind, because once you take it out of the equation of, I've got a choice in this, and you just do it anyway, you'll find that things start happening, because you're building up consistency, which is absolutely number one key when it comes to building a business online. But you'll also start being better at whatever it is that you're doing every single day. So whether it's shooting videos, whether it's, I don't know, going on Facebook, YouTube, there's a whole spectrum, there's a whole load of different platforms that you can use. But the more you do it, the better you become at it. So it's not, I'm no good now, which means I'll be no good in a month, because we all know that's wrong. You know, at the end of the day, nobody walks into a job and is perfect at it first time around. The only difference between it is, again, you're there 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day or however many hours it is that you do in your job. But the fact is, you've got focus in there because nothing else distracts you. You've got nothing else can possibly distract you. And let's face it, you've got a boss probably standing over you, making sure that you're doing what you're doing. And this is the thing, and that's why you get better at your job, because you have focus, you have dedication, you're there every single day, you know. And it's these kind of things that you have to learn how to transition into your business. This is the kind of mentality that you need to have. No distractions, you need to get out of, I have a choice in this. You know, you do have a choice because you've got no one stood over you. But if you want to make this online, you need to suddenly take that out and just say, you know what? No, I don't have a choice. I need to do this. So you need to figure out whatever it is you want to do, and then you just need to do it. And just take out everything else out of the equation. You don't have a choice in this, because if you want to build a business, you don't have a choice in this. So take everything out of it and forget about, you know, whatever it is. So if you set yourself a task of getting up tomorrow morning, doing these tasks before you go to work, or you're going to do it when you get home and stop as late as is necessary, that's what you need to do. But the better you become at it, the more efficient you become at it, the quicker you're going to be able to do it. So all these things may take you 3 and 4 hours to start off with, but as time progresses, that will at least be cut in half. Half of the tasks I do now, I used to shoot videos, and I used to have to do 30 and 40 takes, and I kid you not when I say that, because I used to make the common mistakes of shooting a video, one, checking it out and never liking it, because not many people actually like themselves on video. Not many people like how they sound on video. You know, all these things, again, internal objections that I had. So I was waiting until I was great at videos before I put any videos out there. But again, you know, if you're not putting them out there, how do you know what you're going to get good at? Because what the key to a good video is, you know, it's not how would you think it is, because you're not trying to sell it to yourself, are you? You're trying to sell it to everybody else. You're trying to get everybody else on board. And the only way you're going to know whether that works with them or not is to point it out there in the first place. So, you know, forget about trying to make the perfect video. Forget trying to, you know, get the script down to a T. You know, you've got to come across as real. And like, you know, like I'm talking to you now, I'm not reading from a script. I'm just telling you how it is. And I'm telling you it's coming from me. And that's what people need to see. People don't want to hear a script. They don't want to hear about the perfect this and perfect that. They just want to hear you. That's the one thing that's missing from your marketing. You know, if you're holding yourself back because you think you're not good enough, or, you know, coming back to these internal conflictions you've got, this is what's missing. You need to get yourself out of that mindset, put yourself into the right mindset of being positive, you know, really, really enthusiastic, and put yourself out there. And if you feel like you're struggling to do that, what is it that you do, or something that happens? Maybe you watch a film. I'm not going to encourage you to watch a film, because again, that's a distraction, but there's something that happens that puts you into a great frame of mind. And at that point, you feel like you can take on the world. You just suddenly nothing bothers you. So if you were in that kind of mindset of just thinking, yeah, I really, really feel good about this, and then I suddenly go, right, shoot a video, you're like, yeah, cool, no problem, because you feel you feel great. So how can you put yourself in that frame of mind, and then get to work? Because I'll bet you, if you're in a, I don't know, anxious mindset, you're in an anxious mindset, and you're in a good mindset, you're in a really upbeat mindset, really, really positive, really, really, you know, enthusiastic, which one of these two do you think is going to yield you your best outcome in your business when you're working in your business? Which one of these two is going to reflect a good business? Which one of these two is going to get you the best results? And obviously it's going to be in the good frame of mind. So you need to get yourself in that frame of mind. You need to find a way of putting yourself in that, find out however it is you can get yourself in that, and you need to do that consistently every single day until you can literally walk in and just go bang, that's it, ready. You do it consistently enough, like what Andre's saying. You know, he was talking about the whole mindset thing and everything that was going off in his life. That had no effect on him. He still continued to do what he did because he's been practicing it so much in the background that it just became automatic. You know, you will find it easy to go to the place you visit the most. So if you're the kind of person that gets angry, if you're the kind of person that feels depressed, if that's what you do and that's your default setting, so this is what happens whenever something comes up, that's your go-to place. That's what your automatic reaction is. You know, that you're going to find it easiest to go there because you do it often enough. So what you need to do is replace that with a positive mindset, a positive reflection, and just thinking, you know what, don't care, I'm still going to move forward. I don't care, this is what I need to do. You just have that kind of approach to literally everything. You're going to find a way to be successful. And that is what defines a successful person and a non-successful person. But it all starts in here. So once you learn how to master that, and it takes daily work, same as what Andre was saying, you learn how to master that and control that, that will change the outcome a lot quicker than any of these so-called, magic pill formulas that so many people tell you that they have, because they don't work. Everything starts in here.
Yeah, another thing too to add on to, and this is a funny thing that we've mentioned this a handful of times as well, that some people will think that success is like this, when it's really like all this, a weekly line. Now, going back to again, I got to keep on referring to the Godfather of the personal development, Napoleon Hill. And he mentioned too, as far as, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either law of success or Think and Grow Rich. As far as have yourself a plan. Don't worry about the end goal, because obviously that's where you want to go to. But guess what? The plan is always going to change. Perfect example. Since I mentioned that I've been playing semi-pro football, and you see this a lot too in team sports and sports in general. Obviously, the main goal is to win a championship. What you do not see is in the background at the practices, the aches and pains, the rehabbing, injuries. It happens. Or maybe you have to change the game plan up, or for your opponent. But the thing is, the plan might do this, but the end goal is still the same, and that's the cool thing. I'll never forget too when I first played with the team I was part of. I'm part of one now. About I think it was now 2 years ago now. Yeah, 2 years ago. When I got a chance to be with this team, I was fortunate. They had already won 2 championships prior to me being a part of this team, and it was the same thing. End goal was still the same. Now, guess what? Yes, it looked good that we were undefeated, that we did win, but we had the aches and pains. We had, this semi-pro, so just pay to play. We had one team, I kid you not even show up. We got no show. So for those that were marketing, you don't understand what I'm talking about. We actually got no show to a game, believe it or not. But the goal did not stay, the goal was not never changed. The plan did. Obviously, we had to do some things too. We had to, had to set up some games for some teams to get the right enough amount of games to play, and then we were fortunate to win. So the thing is that, when you do have that end goal too, you're gonna make sure you have a plan, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The plan does not have to be perfect. As Neil mentioned too, as far as like when people want to shoot a video, as far as if they want to do something for the business, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let people see that, okay, this guy's real. Okay, this guy likes to say us, or whatever. I know when I was I used to present to, and nothing wrong with this whatsoever in offline marketing, that I know the people that were my upline, they were, when I got the chance to first present, they were really paying attention to, but I say a lot of us, and now I notice when I shoot my videos, I do it often, but guess what? It's not staring away from what the message is. I don't let that internal obstacle try to stop me. Or maybe if I have something, let's say if I shoot a Periscope, or if I'm on Blab or whatnot, I don't let the external obstacles with other people's, opinions or whatever try to stop me from getting my main message across. So that's just, again, to continue to work on yourself to overcome those internal obstacles. Neil mentioned it too, as far as all successful entrepreneurs, they do go through this. Somebody I love to read a lot too is Robert Kiyosaki. He faces them every single day. And this guy, him and his wife, Kim Kiyosaki, are multi-millionaires. But he says, hey, several times in his books, I have to work on myself. And sometimes he does not feel like, something as simple as going to go work out, with his trainer. Or he doesn't want to go and negotiate with his one deal or whatever it is too. It's just the internal game that you got to fight with daily. But guess what? When you continue to just work on yourself, and when you have the task set in front, because you have the end goal, but just, when you just go in to work on that plan, just keep on, just as Neil mentioned, stay focused, and you're going to go after it. He mentioned videos. Another good thing is blogging. Same thing. Some people don't want to, some people might not want to shoot a video. All right, go put it in writing. Just let it out. Some people might think, oh man, I don't know if anybody will read this or anybody's opinions or whatever. It's no different. It's the same type of mentality as you would shoot in a video. It's just that, guess what? Now you get to type. You know, shoot whatever type of content, whatever value, whatever testimony you want to share, and just put it out there, and then start sharing it on social media. I mean, let's get on social media right now. Today's times, especially with it be Google Plus, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You name one. We know people in this profession are very successful in any or you know, a lot of different social media platforms. So don't use that as an excuse. You don't have to use the old, I'm maybe too young, I'm too old. I've seen people now in this profession of all ages around the world be successful. Neil mentioned as well too. You never know who your message you'll be able to resonate with, as far as maybe not your friends or family. But guess what? I the same thing too. As far as people who resonate, they're not even so much even. They're not even coworkers. They're not teammates that I'm on the football field with. They're like people literally from around the world that resonate with me. People like I know that people that follow me, whether it be on Periscope or on Blab. These are people that are outside the state of Florida here that have resonated with what I like to share. So, you know, you never know who's watching. So once you do overcome those obstacles, get your message out, because in this mission, you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention to what you're saying, or what you're sharing or whatever. And we have our own platform too for you if you want to go and just put your own content out below. So we see the Yes Let Me In below. Go to that and just lock arms with us and just start to begin just to have set up your own blogging platform too, to put out whatever value, whatever content you have to share, because it's yours. Not taking anything away from social media, but external obstacles. Sometimes you might be, to say you have a Facebook ad you want to run, might get shut down. It happens. You might do everything in the book, everything right, and for some whatever reason, it shuts down. Neil had that experience not too long ago as well. But guess what? He still said, "Okay, I just had to change the game plan." It's that simple. You know, we didn't sit here and just like, yeah, it's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, it's frustrating. We're human, but at the same time, it's like, all right, I got the end goal. This is a little temporary setback. So let me go ahead and just rechange the game plan. You know, as I mentioned, as far as changing the plan, like for sports, the X's and O's, this changes up. All right, trying to change up, trying to make adjustments. That's all you're doing. That's it. that's what we've been mentioning too, as far as overcome this. Yes, you might be thinking, okay, easy to say, but guess what? When you're working yourself so much, it will be easy to do. So again, that's one thing that too, that when you truly want to just really work on yourself, you overcome those different type of obstacles. We mentioned earlier too that we had somebody that was on our panel who was a young person that was an introvert who works in a farm, but it was a stretch for him to just come over here to this country. When I first met him almost 2 years ago, met him at an event. And now he's traveled around the world more so than I have. He's been, I don't know how many countries for the last year and a half now, because he overcame himself. He overcame those internal obstacles as far as like, should I really say anything? Should I really come out my own? That's really what all it is for those that might be introvert, not bashing at introverts or extroverts, just when you're introvert, just really trying to just like, all right, let me not be afraid to share what I want to have to do. Because everybody has a little bit of introvert in it. We're human, There's always something that we don't want to share or something, but you never know. That's one thing I heard not too long ago. Your hurt could be somebody else's, ways to be like, let me go ahead and, I resonate with this person because let me see, I'm going to find it word for word. I'm going to find it word for word. What I wrote down. Your hurt could be somebody else's healing. That's what I want to say. So you never know who's paying attention to what you're sharing and what your content's out there. Whatever bad video, as Neil mentioned, that you might be posting that you think is bad, you never know who will be like, you know what, I like that, what you share. Because guess what? How was this all started here in this panel that we have? Because the young man that I mentioned, Ian, he shot one video in a group. I think it was his first video. I was able to recognize him because I'm good with faces, seeing him face to face. Rest is history. And we've had people on here, unfortunately, be on here for a year now too. That's because of one person getting out his way, as far his internal obstacle, overcoming that, shooting a video, and again, the rest is history. So I know we mentioned it before too. I'm not gonna mention it here today. That'll be for us another time. It's just kind of funny because again, as I just mentioned, your hurt could be somebody else's healing. You never know who's paying attention as far as what you want to share. So that's all I wanted to mention there for real quick. Don't know if you had anything else yourself to add on, Neil.
Yeah, there was just a couple of things just kind of triggered a few thoughts, and that is, this is the thing as well, because when we get started, we always want to get started as quickly as we can, and there's no wrong with that, because who don't want to get started as quickly as they can? We all want to get off to the best footing we can. But here's the thing, though: it's like when we shoot the videos, when we set up our Facebook accounts and whatever else, it's like we want everything now, and we kind of want everything perfect, and the people that you're trying to resonate with are not going to respond to that. And like Andre just mentioned, Ian Ian's the person who shot the video. He's the one of our panelists who's a little bit introverted, but he pushed the boundaries and he set himself a goal and just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And what do you know? He spoke to Andre. Andre paid attention to it. He watched the video, and when he met him in person, reached out to him. And that's the kind of effect that video can have. So when you're shooting your videos, I know I keep coming back to videos, but I'm just trying to hammer on, because this is I can guarantee most of the people on this hangout will say, I'm not doing videos. I want to do them. Either I'm not good at them, or I'm too shy, or I'm no good on camera. They'll use some kind of internal obstacle to say, I'm not doing it. And you'll try and rationalize it as best as you can. You know that you need to do videos. You know you need to do videos, and there's just something that's stopping you. So whatever the internal confliction is, whatever it is, whether it's you think you're not good enough, you don't think you're good on camera, could be anything. I've had all of these. But there just comes a time where it's just like, you know what, enough's enough. What I've done right now has got me nowhere. So time for a change. And you need to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I need to do something different. So whatever it is that I've done now has not got me the results I've wanted. So it's time for a change. And if that change means I need to do videos, that's what I need to do. Again, it's just doing it often enough for it to feel normal. There was a time when we got on this hangout and it felt weird doing this every single week. But you know what? Every Friday, it just feels normal now, because we've done it week in, week out. Regardless of how we're feeling, regardless of what time of day it is, regardless of what we got going off in our life, we're here every single week, because this is what we need to do. And your business is no different. So you need to find a daily method of operation, things that you're going to do every single day, rain or shine, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of how much time you've got going off in your life. That is one absolute key. If you talk to any successful person out there, they will have a daily method of operation. Whether they're your sports stars, whether they're your top businessmen, they could be your online business, it doesn't matter. Every single one of them will have a daily method of operation. So that's one thing you need if you're going to succeed. 2, you need to get rid of these internal obstacles, the things that are controlling your life. And basically, as soon as you come to want to do something, you say you want to do a video, you automatically come up with this objection in your head saying, I'm not ready, I'm no good, I don't know what to talk about. You automatically have these objections in your head, and that's dictated to you because you don't want to do videos. You don't want to do videos, you want to do videos, you just feel uncomfortable doing videos. And because you feel so uncomfortable doing videos, your body is basically trying to do whatever it can to stop you from doing it, because you don't actually want to do it. You know you need to do it, but you don't want to do it. Something's controlling your thought process, and you need to change that. So anytime you know you need to do something, but you don't want to do it for whatever reason, you need to change that, and you need to figure out a way past that. Or you could just simply go cold turkey and just go, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Some people do that. Just go, you know what, screw it, throw a video up, let's do it. Some people might need a bit more time. And for those people that need a bit more time, you just need to find a way past that objection and just refocus your attention. Some people are just like, screw it, throw up video. Like Andre, he'll probably do that. Just go, you know what, video done. I'll need a bit more. I need to get myself into the right frame of mind. And in that case, I do whatever it is. I normally listen to a couple of Anthony Robbins videos. I like listening to his videos. Listening to that gets me in the right frame of mind, ready to go. Do whatever you can to get yourself in the right frame of mind, because that is ultimately what's going to be holding you back. And if you're not in the right frame of mind, a lot of your business is going to be working against you rather than for you, because you're not in the right frame of mind. And when you're not in the right frame of mind, you don't take the right kind of action. So get yourself in the right frame of mind. So first of all, you need to be in the right frame of mind. Second, you need a daily method of operation. Once you've got those two down, consistency every single day, rain or shine. Once you've done that, you do it often enough, it will just feel normal. And you'll be amazed what your business will look like in 1 month's time. You do it every single day for 1 month, see where you are now, write down your progress as you go, and just see how you go. And in 1 month, if you can see that progress, I'll bet your perspective of what it is that's been holding you back will change when you can see what it's going to do for you. Because if that's what's happened to you over 1 month, just think what's going to happen over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't forget, when things are online, it's like a snowball effect. Because when you've got one video out there, that one video could be getting you, let's just say one lead a day. So that's 365 leads a year. So what happens when you do 2 and 3, 4, 5? It has a snowball effect. So the more videos you do, the more blog posts you write, the more tweets you do, the more Facebook posts you do, the more interaction you're going to get. And this is going to have a snowball effect, and your business is just going to go, it's just going to go huge. But if you just sit there and do nothing because you're not in the right frame of mind, you're not being consistent, you're not taking the daily actions you need to take, your business is going to stay like that. So take some action, and if you've got something holding you back, do what I do. I encourage you to listen to some self-development audios. I listen to Anthony Robbins. I think that guy's absolutely amazing. You know, Andre, he likes to read Robert Kiyosaki books. You know, each one of us have our own way of getting ourselves into the right frame of mind. But that's what you need to do. Get yourself into the right frame of mind. Then you've got a plan of action. Once you've got a plan of action, go. Just go and just do it every single day. Now, don't push yourself too hard. There are some days when you're going to have more time than others. But whatever you do, don't push yourself to think, all right, well, I'll do that as well. Why don't I do that as well? Because there's so many different things that you can do online. There's not enough time for all of it. So get yourself a daily method of operation that you can do in an hour a day, 2 hours a day. I'd say 2 hours a day at most. So push yourself to do 2 hours of pure activity, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Snapchat. There's so many different platforms you can use. It's unbelievable. But once you've got a daily method of operation every single day, these are what you're going to do. Then once you do that, time's your own. So you get it out of the way. Well, I won't say get it out of the way because that makes it sound like a bad thing. But you just do the daily tasks and then you go. But whilst you're out, your business can be ticking over. Your business can be building whether you're there or not. And that's the power of the internet business. But it all starts with taking action in the first place. Because if you just don't do nothing, you can't expect nothing to happen. So I'll leave that.
No, just nothing to really add on that much. Other than like you just said, take action. So they see we're scrolling down to the yes, let me in. That's the way right there to begin. Take action, and then you can go and see within our community as far as getting your daily habits, as you just mentioned, to start your own daily habits too. And the cool thing too with the blog platform that we have set up, they purposely have a challenge within it that we call the 21-day challenge, because it really takes about 2.5 weeks to start a habit. And this cool thing about this too is they go a little bit over that. That's why they say 21 days, because once you get in that type of I didn't say it's called a nice rhythm, now you pretty much like, okay, let me go ahead and just keep on moving with this. It's no different than anything that you do. You want to start exercising, if you want to start shooting videos, as Neil said, and whatever. if you want, I don't know, whatever, maybe start being a public speaker, whatever you want to do. Is when you start doing something like that, so many consecutive days in a row, now you're starting a good habit. Now, obviously, it's the opposite. The opposite, obviously, is the bad habit. It's what Neil already mentioned, as far as like, you get pumped up, and then like after a couple of days, like, I don't think I do this now. I think I'll skip the day. Guess what? You just got yourself out of rhythm. But now you have something that's going to help you be accountable. That's why we mentioned, how you associate with people as well. On top of that, once you do see that, yes, let me in. And once you are inside too, you can also get your event ticket, because we have an event here coming up in the next 3 weeks from today as well. So you can be with people too that are going to, as we mentioned earlier, help uplift you. So that's what we wanted to share here this evening. Hopefully you got value. If you did, I'd love to read your comments below. Comment away if you got value for what we shared here. Because again, as we mentioned, this is a process. It's a daily process, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly process, and just stick with it. Let's just I guess the acronym and the word they say for focus: follow one course until successful. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So that's what I wanted to share here as well for this evening. I don't know you have anything else though, Neil?
No, that's pretty much for me. Basically, just to re-emphasize that at the end of the day, there are going to be things that are going to make you feel uncomfortable. But if these are the things that you need to do, they're the things that you need to do. You just need to keep doing them and do them regardless of how you feel until it feels normal. Like I say, I would honestly be lost on a Friday if I wasn't on a hangout, because it's just got so normal that I expect it every single time. You go back a year when we first started doing these, it felt weird. And I didn't want, I'll admit, there were times I was looking for reasons not to do it, because I felt uncomfortable. When you feel uncomfortable, your body's going to try and do whatever it can to stop you from doing it because you feel uncomfortable. That's all it is. It's basically your body's way of trying to protect you, because that's what it does. But if you do it anyway and it just feels normal, and often enough you'll find that it's not as bad as what you expected. It's not a bad thing. It's different. And sometimes we don't like change. We want to stay in our own comfortable zone. Just need to push that boundary a little bit. But yeah, just do something, build a daily method of operation, and do it regardless how you feel. Do that every single day and you will not recognize your business a year from now. But if you just continue to do what you're doing right now, nothing's going to change. You can't, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. So, you need to change your method of operation if you want to have a different outcome. So get a daily method of operation every single day, regardless of how you feel, and just keep going. And if you ever feel yourself in a negative mindset, get yourself into a positive mindset. Do whatever it is that puts you in that mindset. Listen to music, maybe read a book, listen to an audio, could be anything. But each one of us is different. Do that, get yourself into the right mindset, take action, and just do it consistently. That's basically all it boils down to, because that's what separates the successful people and the non-successful people.
All right. With that being said, we'll see you same time, same place next week. It'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time or 3 p.m. Pacific Time. We're out there 11 p.m. out there in the UK. So with that being said, we'll see you then.
Take it easy, guys.